Before we begin today's story, take a moment to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy emotionally driven stories. Stories that aren't loud or rushed, but quietly stay with you long after the video ends. If you love emotional family stories, real-life struggles, and heart-touching journeys about love, sacrifice, and relationships, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications, because today's story might change the way you see love forever. This is a story about a mother and about a painful, beautiful moment when loving someone means learning how to let them go. The rain fell gently over Maplewood. It wasn't the kind of storm that crashes against windows or floods the streets. This rain was soft, slow, almost careful. It whispered against rooftops, turning the world quieter, smaller, like time itself had paused. Streetlights reflected off the wet pavement like scattered gold. Tree branches swayed in the breeze, and at the very end of Willow Lane, inside a small cream-colored house, glowing with warm yellow light, Emily Carter stood alone in her kitchen. The house smelled faintly of dish soap and chamomile tea. The sink was filled with the last dinner plates. Her sleeves were rolled up, and water dripped slowly from her fingers. It should have been an ordinary night, just another quiet evening. But something felt different, heavier, as if the air itself was holding its breath. Emily stacked the plates slowly, her thoughts far away. At 43, she had grown used to silence, used to the rhythm of a small home shared with only one other person, her son, Alex. Her whole world, her only child, her greatest achievement. And lately, something about him had changed. She couldn't explain it exactly, but mothers always know. It was in the way he avoided eye contact, in the way he stayed up later than usual, in the way his laughter no longer sounded as light as it once did. It felt like something was weighing on him, like he was standing at the edge of a decision he hadn't told her about yet. She dried her hands on a towel and let out a quiet sigh. "Maybe I'm overthinking," she whispered to herself, but deep down, she knew she wasn't. Then his voice came from the living room. "Mom, can we talk?" It was soft, careful, almost fragile. Emily froze. Her heart skipped a beat. That wasn't his normal voice. That was the voice people use when something serious is about to change everything. She wiped her hands again, even though they were already dry. Her palms felt suddenly cold. "Of course," she called back, trying to sound normal, but her chest tightened as she walked toward him. Every step felt heavier, like she already knew this conversation would divide her life into two parts, before tonight and after. Alex sat on the couch beneath the warm glow of a lamp. The light softened his face, but it couldn't hide the tension in his eyes. He stared down at his hands, rubbing his fingers together, as if rehearsing words he was afraid to say out loud. Emily sat beside him, instinctively, close enough to touch, close enough to protect. She reached for his hand. "What's going on, honey?" He took a deep breath, held it, then slowly let it out. Silence stretched between them. Tick, tick, tick. The clock on the wall suddenly sounded louder than ever. Finally, he spoke. "Mom, I need to ask you something." Her stomach tightened. "A request?" she asked gently. He nodded, but didn't look at her, and that scared her more than anything. Alex had always been honest with her, always open. So why did this feel so hard? "You can tell me anything," she said softly. "Always." He swallowed, then looked up. The emotion in his eyes nearly broke her heart. "I want to leave town." The words hit her like a slap. "Leave with someone I love." And just like that, the world stopped. For a moment, Emily couldn't breathe. The rain outside seemed to pause, as if the world itself was listening. "Leave town," she whispered. "You mean move?" Alex nodded slowly. "I want to start fresh, somewhere new, somewhere we can build our own life. We." That single word hurt more than she expected. Not me, not us. We. Someone else had become his future. For the first time, Emily realized she wasn't standing at the center of his world anymore. "What's her name?" Emily asked quietly. "Sophie," he said, and a small smile touched his lips. That smile told her everything. This wasn't a phase. This wasn't confusion. This was love. "She's kind, Mom," he continued. "She understands me. Being with her just feels right."
He let out a nervous laugh. "I've never felt this way before." Emily studied him in silence. And suddenly she didn't see a boy sitting beside her. She saw a man. The little boy who once hid behind her legs at the grocery store. The child who reached for her hand whenever the world felt too big. Now he was talking about building a life with someone else. Time really was cruel. It never asked permission before moving forward. "How long?" she asked. "A few months," he replied. "But it feels like years." He squeezed her hand gently. "I didn't want to hide anything from you." Then his voice cracked. "But I can't go without your blessing." That was what broke her. This wasn't rebellion. This wasn't running away. This was respect. This was love. Tears blurred her vision as memories rushed in. His first steps. His first day of school. The way he used to call her after every bad day just to hear her voice. How had 23 years passed so quickly? Emily stood up and walked to the window. Rain traced thin lines down the glass. Street lights shimmered outside. Her reflection stared back at her. A mother trying to be strong. Trying not to be selfish. Because love isn't about holding someone close. It's out letting them grow. Even when it hurts. Especially when it hurts. Behind her, Alex waited in silence. He didn't rush her. Didn't pressure her. He had inherited her patience. Her kindness. Her heart. Maybe she had done something right after all. She turned back to him, her voice trembling. "I am scared, Alex." He nodded. "I know. I don't want to lose you." "You won't," he said immediately. "You're my home. That will never change." Those words wrapped around her heart like a warm blanket. Maybe distance didn't mean separation. Maybe love didn't weaken with miles. Maybe it simply changed shape. She walked back to him, cupped his face in her hands like she used to when he was little, and whispered, "Give me some time to think." Relief washed over his face. "Okay." He hugged her tightly, and for a moment she held him longer than usual, like she was memorizing the feeling, just in case. Morning arrived quietly. The rain had stopped before dawn, leaving Maplewood washed clean under pale sunlight. Drops clung to tree leaves like tiny crystals. The street outside looked peaceful, almost innocent. But inside the Carter house, peace didn't exist. Emily hadn't slept. She had closed her eyes, but her mind never rested. Every memory pulled her awake. Alex running through the hallway in socks, crying on his first day of kindergarten, wobbling on his bike and saying, "Don't let go, Mom." And now, he was the one letting go. She sat at the kitchen table, fingers wrapped around a mug of tea gone cold. Sunlight sent through the curtains. Dust floated lazily in the air. Tick, tick, tick. The clock sounded unbearably loud. Her eyes drifted to the empty chair across from her. The chair where Alex had eaten breakfast for years. Cereal spills, toast crumbs, sleepy smiles. Now it looked temporary, like it was already learning how to be empty. Soft footsteps approached. Alex stepped into the kitchen carefully, like he wasn't sure he was welcome. "Morning, Mom," he said. She forced a small smile. "Morning." Silence settled between them. Awkward, unfamiliar, painful. "I can make breakfast," he offered quickly. "Eggs, toast, coffee." It wasn't about food. It was his way of saying, "I'm still here. Please don't be angry with me." "You don't have to," she said gently. "I want to." As he moved around the kitchen, pretending everything was normal, Emily noticed the truth. The slight tremble in his hands, the nervous glances, the quiet hope in her eyes. Finally, he couldn't hold it in. "Did you think about what I said?" There it was, the question hanging between them since last night. She took a slow breath. "I did." He froze. "It's a lot, Alex," she continued softly. "You've been my whole world." Her voice broke. "And letting go of that feels like losing a part of myself."